Yes, I was that we can start now. So first of all, thank you very much to all of you for joining us for the seminar. So I prepare a very short introduction to about the speaker. We are very happy to have Benjamin Bing Vu. He is now senior lecturer at the University of Canberra in Australia. He has a PhD in economics at Griffith University. He is now currently an associate editor of Australian economic papers. He doing research in several fields, including development economic, energy economic, and other fields. He has a publication in the strong journal, for example, Applied Economics, Public Health, and at the same time, he have conducted several projects for the government and different institutions. We are very happy to have been today. He's talking about evidence and driver of output divergence and convergence club in Vietnam. Being as you have around 1 hour for the presentation, but I was at the same time, if people would like to have questions, they can raise a hand, and you are the boss of the presentation. You decide everything. So now I let you to share the screen with us.
Okay, thank you, Sang and everyone for attending the seminar today. I'm very happy to present my paper at the seminar. Before I start, I like to check, you can hear me clearly, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let me share the screen here. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I think I may need to log in using my mobile phone as well, right? Otherwise, I may not be able to see the comments or messages. Or if you have any questions here, please use your microphone. It may be better for me as well.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Okay, thank you. So today I will present a new research paper relating to the evidence and drivers of output divergence and convergence clubs in Vietnam, the analysis of newly merged provinces. So I will cover some key points here: research background and research problems and research contributions, and the key gaps in the literature review, and key research questions, research methods, and the key findings. And then I move on to policy recommendations, research limitations, and future research. So this paper has been published by the journal Quality and Quantity. So you can see here. So I will share the paper with you after the seminar. Now, research background. So you can see in 2025,
I mean, I cannot hear you. Is this normal?
He froze.
I
the
think
ministry
should. Yeah.
and equivalent bodies were streamlined from 30 to 21 with corresponding restructuring of provincial and local departments. These reforms were justified by fiscal pressures, anticipated efficiency gains from economies of scale, and expected higher provincial competitiveness. So this comprehensive reform demands systematic empirical assessment of regional economic performance and potential convergence clubs under the new administrative structure. So you can see here the maps. On the left-hand side here, we have the old map, 63 provinces and cities in Vietnam before 2025. And the map on the right here, we see 34 provinces and cities in Vietnam after 2025. So if you refer to the north here, we have Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. And then in the south here, we have Ho Chi Minh City, the the commercial city like Sydney in Australia. And in the central here, we have Da Nang. Da Nang is one of the most dynamic city in the central of Vietnam as well. Now, what are the research problems? So here I will cover some key points, right? Research problems. So since the economic reform in 1986, Vietnam has achieved substantial macroeconomic outcomes. For example, the GDP growth rate increased from 2.8% in 1986 to 9.5% in 1995, and then 7% in 2024. And the GDP per person increased from more than $1,200 in 1990 to about $16,000 in 2024. We use PPP. However, the income inequality, for example, the Gini index increased from 0.35 in 1997 to 3.39 in 2010, before declining to 0.36 in 2022. And the regional economic development has substantially diverged. In addition, these outcomes were achieved under the pre-reform structure of 63 provinces, a system that has increasingly been criticized as administratively fragmented, fiscally burdensome, and less capable of supporting balanced regional development. So what are the research contributions? So we outline some key research contributions here. Number one, this is the first study to analyze output divergence and club convergence across the new 34 provinces in Vietnam. Second, this study offers the first sector-specific convergence club analysis in Vietnam. And third, this study integrates ordered logic models with spatial analysis of spillover effects to have a better understanding of the key determinants of convergence clubs membership. And finally, this study identifies which provinces are performing well and which ones are falling behind for better government interventions under the new structure. Now I move on to the literature review. So here I show the theoretical perspectives on regional divergence and club convergence. So in the neoclassical growth framework, diminishing returns to capital and factor mobility imply that regions converge toward a common steady state, giving rise to income convergence over time. So under this view, temporary disparities may exist, but long-run convergence is expected provided regions share similar structural characteristics. Endogenous growth theories emphasize that increasing returns, human capital accumulation, innovation, and knowledge spillovers can generate persistent divergence across regions. So the concept of club convergence has developed as a synthesis between convergence and divergence theories. Regions may converge to multiple equilibria, forming district clubs based on differences in initial conditions, structural characteristics, and sectoral composition. And convergence dynamics may differ across economic sectors, especially in developing countries. Despite its theoretical relevance, sectoral convergence remains under-investigated in the literature. Now I move on to empirical evidence on regional divergence and club convergence. So empirical studies on regional convergence can be divided into two categories. So number one, the first one, relies on traditional approaches, say sigma convergence, beta convergence, and unit root tests. And the second, developed by Philip Su, relaxes the assumptions by allowing for time-varying heterogeneity and endogenous club formation. So my research will focus on the second approach. So we apply the methodologies developed by Phillips and Su for our data analysis. A consistent finding across these studies is the rejection of overall convergence alongside multiple convergence clubs. Here are some other empirical evidence on regional divergence and club convergence. So in China, for example, they identify 5 provincial income convergent clubs over 1952 to 2008. And in 2019 here, they found 4 clubs among the cities between 1990 and 2014. So in India, they found divergence across major states. And studies in Indonesia provide mixed evidence. For example, some support for convergence in earlier periods, but weaker results in later decades. Now, in Vietnam, previous studies examined regional disparities in Vietnam and found persistent inequality across provinces and regions. I published some other papers here as well using older data periods. For example, in 2018, we found that overall divergence at the aggregate level, along with 5 convergence clubs across 61 provinces during the period 1990-2011. So from the literature review, we came up with the key gaps in the literature. Number one, previous studies on output divergence and clubs convergence at aggregate level were conducted under the old administrative structure, which no longer reflects the current structure of Vietnam, thereby limiting their relevance for policy intervention. Second, no previous studies analyzed output divergence and club convergence at sectoral level in Vietnam. And third, no previous studies analyzed the key determinants of convergence club formation under the new structure. So what are the key research questions? So we have some key research questions. Number one, do output levels across 34 provinces diverge or converge at aggregate level and sectoral level? Number two, if divergence persists, do the provinces form convergence clubs? Number three, what are the key factors affecting convergence club membership? And number four, do high-performing provinces generate spatial spillover effects that benefit lower performing ones? So in order to answer the research questions, we use the following methodologies. So number one, we conducted the overall convergence tests. So we applied the convergence log-T test developed by Phillips and Su to examine the overall convergence of GDP per person across the 34 provinces in Vietnam at aggregate and sectoral levels from 2010 to 2023. We use a panel data of GDP per person of province I at period T. As you can see here, I from 1 to 34 and T from 1 to 14. A set of provinces is identified as a convergent club if the log-T coefficient is positive, or if the log-T coefficient is negative, but its T statistics is greater than minus 1.65. So I will skip the equations here due to the time limit. You can see this one. Now, convergence club formation tests. So if the overall convergence hypothesis is rejected, right, we identify convergence clubs using the following steps. So step number one, we sort provinces in an ascending order of GDP per person in 2023. Step number two, select first M provinces with the highest real GDP per person to form club CM for M is greater or equal to, and then less than 34. And then we'll run log T test and select the core club size M star, subject to this one. And step number three, we add one province each time to the core primary club with M star members and run the log T test again. Include a new province in the convergence club if the associated T test, the statistic value is greater than minus 1.65. And step number four, we repeat steps from 1 to 3 for the remaining provinces to identify other clubs, convergence clubs. If there is no M in step number 2, for which DM is greater than minus 1.65, the remaining provinces form a divergent club. We also test sensitivity of boundaries between members of clubs. For example, the top 1/3 of members of club J plus 1 with members of club J, and of, for example, the bottom 1/3 of members of club J with members of club J plus 1 for J from 1 to K at aggregate and sectoral levels. Now, we conduct analysis on the key determinants of convergence club membership. So to investigate the key determinants of convergence club membership, we use ordered logic models. For example, here we have y star I equals beta xi plus epsilon. So where the latent variable, the dependent variable here, you can see provincial convergence club membership. And xi include initial GDP per person, investment as percentage of GDP, labor force as percentage of population, human capital, say skilled workers as percentage of population, agriculture, industry, and service share as percentage of GDP. Yeah. Now we move on to the analysis of spillover effects. So to analyze spillover effects among provinces, we use GIS mapping techniques to visualize spatial distribution of convergence clubs. So here are the data sources. The data sets were collected from the National Statistics Office of Vietnam. You can see here the key data variables, GDP at aggregate and sectoral levels, investment, labor force, human capital, shares of agricultural, forestry, fishery, industry, construction, and services as percentage of GDP, population. And we use constant 2010 prices for GDP and investment to control for inflation. And we use a log of real GDP per person to minimize random shocks. Any questions so far? No?
Yes, please. I have a questions.
Okay.
Yeah, about I mean on the page 24. So I see. I wonder how you determine the value of M star. Can you come back to the 24?
Okay, let me.
24.
Okay, this one.
Yes, about the So the value the next one. 24. Yes, this one.
Okay, this one.
So about the value of M star. So is the value M star is determined automatically, or what's the how can you determine this value?
Yes, thank you for the question. Now, actually, M star will be determined by regressions. Okay,
Yes.
so when we conducted the regressions, yeah, we could be able to identify M star using the threshold here.
Okay.
M star, yeah, could be from 2, and so on. Say 2 or 3 or 4, yeah, and so on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Another question associated is associated with the threshold. I mean, 1.65 is about the 10% level, right?
No, it's
10% risk level. Or why is this value but another? I mean, 1.96 or something like this.
okay. I will show you the regression threshold later when I share the findings, so it will be easier.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. A question about skill level. So, what do you mean about skill level?
Okay. For the skill labor, let me.
Yeah.
So here, we collected data on skilled workers. So we use skilled workers as percentage of population as a proxy for human capital.
Yeah, I understand, but I mean, my question is how do you mean about skilled worker to distinguish them between unskilled labor?
Yeah, according to the Vietnam Statistics Office,
Yes.
they meant like a person is in this category if the person possessing say some kind of qualification. It could be a certificate, it could be a bachelor, it could be a master, or and above.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I move on. Now you can refer to the findings here, right? The overall divergence at the aggregate level. So the log T coefficient is minus 0.883, and the T statistic is minus 73.43. So the threshold here, right, minus 1.65. So it means the null hypothesis of overall convergence is rejected at the 5% significance level. Okay. So it means the real GDP per person of the 34 provinces in Vietnam did not significantly converge over the period 2010 and 2023. Okay. So we use the threshold from this this approach, 5% significance level. Now you can see the null hypothesis, right, of overall convergence is rejected. That is why we move on to convergence clubs analysis. So here you can see the findings, right, at the aggregate level, data for all 34 provinces, and you have the log T coefficient and T statistic here. So for the entire Vietnam here, you can see divergence. And then we found, we conducted convergence clubs, and we found 4 convergence clubs. Club number 1, 6 provinces. Club number 2 here, 11 provinces. Club number 3, 12 provinces. And club number 4, 2 provinces. And some other provinces here, say Dien Bien, Sơn La, and Đắk Lắk, they did not belong to any convergence clubs. Okay. And
Could I ask a quick
yeah,
question?
yeah,
So once you're in a club, you stay in that club for the entire duration. You can't shift in and out of clubs over time.
very good question. Actually, we using the data for the period from 2010 to 2023. So you can see Hanoi. Hanoi belongs to club number 1. But I did another research paper, and I did use the data from 1990 to 2011, and some of the provinces and cities jumped from lower convergence clubs to higher convergence clubs. So it means over time, right, a province can jump from one club to another club. Did I answer the question?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have another question associated with your findings in this table. So when I see the value of the statistic, I mean, maybe, for club 2 and club 3 and also club 4, maybe I mean the value of T is not significant at the 5% level, right? For example, for club 4, we have minus 0.88 is higher than minus 1.65. And at the same time, for two other clubs, club 2 and club 3, we see that, 0.73 is, lower than 1.65 and so on.
Okay, thank you for the question and comments. Now we refer to the decision rule here. Okay, so you can see the smaller sentences here. A set of provinces is considered a convergent set or club if the log T coefficient is positive. So positive, right? The log T coefficient positive.
Okay.
So you can see club 1, club 2, club 3, positive or good.
Yeah.
Or if the log T coefficient is negative, so club 4 and club 3, right? Club 4,
Yeah.
but if this statistic is greater than minus 1.65. So here for club number 4, right, the T statistics is minus 0.887. It means greater than minus 1.65. That is why we found club number 4. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Now I will show you some diagrams here, so you can see clubs, provinces, performance, and so on. So here you can see club number 1. So the vertical axis here we have GDP per person at 2010 prices, Vietnam đồng, and then horizontal axis here we have Hám. So we have Bắc Ninh, Thái Nguyên, Quang Ninh, and Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, and Hải Phòng City as well. So you can see Ho Chi Minh City, the top performer here. And then Quang Ninh here, you can see Quang Ninh is catching up. And actually, Quang Ninh surpassed Ho Chi Minh City in 2023. Quang Ninh actually has a lot of advantages, comparative advantages. Right? You can see tourism, mining, industry, and so on, investment, foreign investment, and so on. And Hải Phòng City, for example, you can see is it blue? Yeah, blue color is performing well as well, right? Due to advantages in industry and I think export activities and so on, right? Because Hải Phòng City has port, seaport, and so on as well. Now, club number 2, you can see other provinces here. They are conversing, right, to each other. And then now here you have club number 3, and then club number 4. Okay. Now we move on to the key determinants of club membership. So we use ordered lockage models at aggregate level, not sectoral level here, due to the data unavailability. So the marginal effects on probabilities of joining X convergence club of provinces in Vietnam. So you can see the table, right? Club number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And the first column here, we have the variables, log, real GDP person, investment as percentage of GDP, labor force as percentage of population, and so on. And down here, we have number of provinces. Right? Club number 1, we have 6 provinces and cities, and so on. Now, if we refer to this table, you can see, right, for example, one unit increase in the log of real GDP per person raises the probability of belonging to club 1, the high income club, by 24.5%. So this one, right? I can show this one. Okay. And to club number 2, the middle income, the middle high income club, by 57.5%. So you can see this one. In contrast, this increase decreases the likelihood of a province moving to club 3, the low middle income, by 65.8%. This one. And to club number 4, the low income club, by 9%. We can explain the same for other variables. And one unit increase in the agriculture, forestry, and fishery share as percentage of GDP increases the probability of belonging to club number 3. So you can see here, club number 3, so this one, by 1.3%, right? 1.3%. Okay. So you can see it. So in summary, right, if a province with more agricultural, forestry, fishery activities, right, the province may have higher chance to belong to lower income clubs, right? If a province with higher investment, foreign investment, right, more industrial activities, and so on, the province may have a higher chance to belong to higher income clubs, and so on. Now, if we refer to the map here, you can see Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, and Ho Chi Minh City here, the financial capital of Vietnam as well. So Hanoi is the administrative capital of Vietnam. And in the central here, we have Da Nang. So Club 1 members, you can see Bắc Ninh, Thái Nguyên, Hải Phòng, Quang Ninh, are strongly connected with Hanoi, the country's capital. Right? You can see we have Quang Ninh, Hải Phòng, and so on around here. You can see the green shaded area, right? And Quang Ninh, Hải Phòng in the north, Da Nang in the central, are major regional economic centers of Vietnam. And in the south, Dong Nai, Tây Ninh stand out as high-performing provinces with strong linkages to Ho Chi Minh City, as you can see here. This is Ho Chi Minh City, and we have Dong Nai and Tây Ninh as well. Poorer provinces, for example, Sơn La, Dien Bien, Đắk Lắk, are in remote or mountainous areas. So you can see here, Dien Bien, Sơn La, and Đắk Lắk in the highlands area, right? And they lack connections with major economic centers. So from the map here, right, intuitively, we can see some spillover effects from the core economic centers, right, to surrounding provinces. Okay, now we move on to convergence clubs at sectoral level. So we conducted the test, right, for the overall convergence hypothesis at sectoral level, and the overall convergence hypothesis is rejected. Right? That is why we conducted convergence clubs. So you can see here for agriculture, forestry, fishery, we found six convergence clubs. Club number 1, club number 2, and so on here. Of course, we have some remaining provinces, right? They don't belong to any clubs. So club number 1 here, we have An Giang, Cà Mau, Dong Tháp, and Lâm Đồng. Right? They have advantages, right? Comparative advantages in agriculture, forestry, and fishery. Okay. Remaining provinces here, you can see Hanoi is the capital, Ho Chi Minh City, the financial capital of Vietnam, and Cao Bang, the remote province. They don't belong to any club. It makes sense because, yeah, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, for example, they have very low percentage, right, in terms of the share of agriculture, forestry, and fishery when we compare the share with the GDP. Now, if we refer to industry and construction sector, you can see we found 4 convergence clubs. So club number 1 here, you can see high-performing provinces and cities. Right? You can see Bắc Ninh, Đồng Nai, Ho Chi Minh City, Hải Phòng, and so on. Right? And then down here, we have Cao Bang and Dien Bien. They are located in very remote and mountainous areas, so they don't belong to any club. Yes. And they rarely attract foreign investment in their provinces as well. So that is why they are performing poorly. Now, if we refer to the services sector, you can see we found 4 convergence clubs as well. So club number 1 here, you can see Da Nang City, Hải Phòng, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, Lang Sơn, Quang, and Tây Ninh. So, for example, Da Nang, right? You have, you can see Da Nang. I'm not sure you have visited Da Nang, but Da Nang has comparative advantages in tourism, for example, and so on, hospitality, and so on. So in club number 1, right, it makes sense here. Now we move on to policy recommendations. So number 1, yeah, I think I have hidden some conclusions, but yeah, it's okay. We can discuss them later if needed. So number 1, there are clear benefits in promoting spillover from the high-performing provinces to neighboring ones. For example, Bắc Ninh, Thái Nguyên, Hưng Yên, and Phú Thọ have benefited from the economic activities of Hanoi, Hải Phòng, and Quang Ninh in the north. And Tây Ninh province has gained positive impacts from Ho Chi Minh City and Dong Nai in the south. Therefore, the central and provincial governments should further enhance these positive spillover effects across the provinces. Second, greater public investment from the central government should be directed to the poorer clubs and poorer provinces. For example, the central government should allocate more resources to improve the performance of these poorer clubs and provinces. And wealthier clubs, for example, club number 1, should contribute more to the central budget so that additional funds can be redistributed to support poorer clubs and provinces. These measures are essential because poorer clubs and provinces often attract limited private and foreign direct investment. And provinces such as Tuyên Quang, Cao Bang, Dien Bien, and so on face persistent economic development challenges due to their remote, mountainous, isolated geographic conditions and limited infrastructure development, the roads, schools, hospitals, and so on. Third, lower performing provinces may focus on reframing and enhancing their comparative advantages to develop more effective approaches for collaboration with higher performing provinces. For example, lower performing provinces might also invest more in human capital to improve GDP and to join higher performing clubs. And this is evidenced by our findings that real GDP per person and human capital are the key, key determinants of province likelihood of joining higher performing clubs. So clubs number 1 and number 2. Okay, so here are some research limitations, and future research. Due to data limitations, the analysis of the determinants of convergence club membership at the sectoral level is not undertaken in this study. We will conduct it when more relevant data are available. Yeah, here are some selected references, and thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anh Bình, for very nice presentation. So now it's time for question and discussion. If you have some comment or discussion or question, you can ask directly, Bình.
Yeah, maybe I have a question, please, about your spatial analysis of club convergence. I mean, I think to conclude whether there is a spatial spillover, I think you can use spatial tricks to conclude that there still exists spatial spillovers.
Yeah, thank you for the question and comments. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. Right? Due to the data limit, right, we are unable to conduct statistical analysis of spillover effects, right, of high-performing provinces, right, to lower performing provinces. So in our research, right, we focus more on the Phillips through approaches, and we only use the GIS mapping techniques to visualize the effects, spillover effects. But in the future, yeah, if the data are available, yes, of course, we will conduct the statistical analysis, yeah, of spillover effects. Yeah, thank you for the question.
Thank you very much for your answers.
Yes.
So Edmund, I would like to invite Edmund. You raise your hand, no?
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of questions, but can I just start off with maybe kind of an easy question first, just so I want to understand, the implications of the project. So the provincial mergers actually happened after the scope of time that's covered in your data, right? The mergers occurred in 2025, but your data runs from 2010 to 2023. So I guess it'd be helpful to understand what's the utility of measuring the convergence of provinces that aren't actually administrative units at the time you're doing it.
Yeah, thank you, Edmund. It is very great question. Actually, we did another research using the same data period for the 63 provinces.
Yeah.
And the paper has been under review by Empirical Economics.
Mm-hmm.
And we conducted another research, right, for the new 34 provinces using the data period from 2010 to 2023 because we thought it could be a baseline for comparison later. For example, say when we have more or longer data periods, right? For example, from 2025 to say 2035 and so on. For example, we will do another analysis, right, for 34 provinces, and we might be able to compare the performance as well. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Because
Mm.
because at this point, like I guess what you have provinces that are actually separate governments that are included in your data set that are not actually, you may have within the province of Hunan, you have Hunan and Taiping, which are doing different things policy wise, but that you're treating as a similar unit, right?
Yes. Actually, we combine the data. We combine the data of Hưng and Taiping.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So within your combined data, you have two different governments doing different things.
In Vietnam, it might be a bit different, right? Say in America or in Australia. For example, in Australia, the federal government and the state government, right? The state governments, they have some autonomy. Right? But in Vietnam, for example, like provinces, whatever they do, they need to follow the regulations, right?
So that's
By
not
central government.
that's not really true. I mean, provinces vary a lot in their policies, right? Like they have central rules that they follow, but they all have different plans and different provinces based on their revenue. I mean, it's a simplification, but certainly there's all provinces have different implementing documents for every central regulation and implement those in different ways. Part of your convergence is policy. It's not just structural.
Yeah, I agree. They have some differences, but they still need to follow the central government, right? In terms of regulations and laws and so on, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but like different provinces have different rules about industrial zones. Different provinces have different rules about land regulations. There are like the central rule is often very vague, and probably provinces implement it in different ways, right? That's been the story of Vietnam throughout the reform era.
But their regulations and rules are under the
So just
regulations by the central government, right?
so
For
in your
example, say industrial, right, or economic zones, right? The central government determine for example, the 7 economic zones in Vietnam.
No, but within
Right.
each province, the 7 large economic zones, but within each province, provinces can authorize individual industrial zones, right?
They have
So
some
like
priorities. Yes.
you talk about Haiphong. No, it's not about priorities. It's about the actual policy. Like you talk
Mm.
about Haiphong. Haiphong has been one of the leaders in clearing land and creating industrial zones to attract investment in there. Quang Ninh has been one of the leaders in reducing regulations for business registration, right? Like those are policies that are implemented at the provincial level. But like right now, you're just treating all the forces that affect the provinces as structural. You're not taking into account their individual policies, right? Provinces have a lot of autonomy on administrative implementation.
They have some autonomy, but like say the central government, right? When they decided to merge, right, provinces, right, they based on some key criteria. For example, like location, the level of social economic development, right, the similarities, something like that. So they could not combine the very poor province with the very rich province or the very dynamic province, right? Because it's impossible. For example, they combined like Ho Chi Minh City, the old Ho Chi Minh City, with what else? Variable.
Yeah, but I don't. That's not.
Bingo.
That's. I mean, I hate to contradict you, but that's not really true either, right? Like they combined Kon Tum with Binh Thuan, right? They combined a Central Highlands province with a coastal beach economy, right? All of the Central Highlands provinces got combined with coastal South Central Coast provinces that have very different economic structures.
But they have like, they are neighboring, right? They are neighbors, so they have some similarities as well.
Okay, right. I mean, they happen to be contiguous. Okay, sure. I don't mean to pick on you. I was just trying to understand like the research methodology. But let me just switch. The second thing is like when you look at the determinants of the convergence clubs, like a number of those things are highly endogenous, right? Like where foreign investment goes, like that could follow growth or create growth, right? Like so foreign investors are often searching for the locations that are growing the fast before they locate, right? The same thing is true of labor movements. So how do you deal with the endogeneity in that specification?
So you refer to table number 3, right?
Yeah, the determinants of convergence clubs.
Okay, so here you can see the dependent variable is the latent, right? Latent variable, like club membership, right?
Yeah.
So,
Anh Bình, we cannot see the screen.
oh, okay. Let me share it again. Oh, okay. I think I need to share. Sorry. So this one, can you see it?
Yeah, you can make it bigger. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So this one, you can see for this model, right? I use the dependent variable as a latent variable, club membership, right? And then I use some other independent variables here.
Yeah, but so like club membership is a latent variable that is a function of growth, right? You're basically looking at the convergence of growth rates over time, right?
Okay.
And so what I'm asking is that membership, that since that latent variable is a determinant of growth, the latent variable is caused by growth. Investment can follow growth or it can create growth. It's an endogenous relationship. And so what I'm asking is, how do you deal with the endogeneity in that? Like, so it may be that the convergence clubs, when you have a high growth club, it attracts a lot of investment to that area, not that the investment caused the convergence.
Okay, like high performing provinces and cities, right? Yes, often attract more investment, right, from private sector and foreigners, right? Foreign investment and so on.
Yeah. So that's like classic economies of agglomeration.
So actually, yeah, for this one, right, if you refer to my methodologies here, yeah, this one. I apply the approaches by the guys here and developed by them, right? So Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. We'll talk. Let's talk more offline about it. I think it's a really interesting project and great data collection. But yeah, I'll let other people talk. I've dominated too much.
Okay. No, thank you very much for the comments. I will explore it further.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of
Sure.
endogenous issue as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Moon. So I see the hand of Fu and Paul, but I would like to invite Fu first because Paul have already had another question. Fu, yes.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. First, thank you for this presentation about Vietnam. Is a very new situation with new provinces established last year, I think. So I am totally agree with Edmund Malinsky about the question about data, because you are studying the effect that's cover the past, but these effects, I think, don't cover the impact of the new policy about provinces, provincial merging. I would like to point another aspect. In fact, for example, if you look at your result, you can see some provinces very, very far away each other, like Cần Thơ in south, and you have some provinces in north. So what is the rationale for this kind of club formation? For example, if you look at the first club, you have Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi and so on. So they are very far away. For the second club, you have Cần Thơ City and Hưng Yên, for example. So what is the link between them? So this is question about the rationale regarding club formation, you know. We didn't see here any link between them. So why they belong to the same club, you know? So that is the first question. And for me, and I am totally agree with Esmond Buleski, that new provinces, they have nothing to do with you know, with data, because you are relating something else than a new provincial border, right? That's the second question. And I had the last question, you know. Esmond said that you have some endogeneity here. And I think you have a problem, not regarding club formation, endogenous club formation, but it's about data about your variable. When you do the regression with GDP, and with investment, with labor, with human capital at explanatory variables, you know, they are endogenous, right? As investment, labor, human capital are part of GDP, right? And you have something else that can affect all of them. And so the last question, okay, just I asked a lot of questions, but you can choose to answer some of them. You identify some positive impact, but my question is, have you found any negative impact regarding, for example, competition between provinces in Vietnam? You know, if you look at the CPI index established by Malinsky here, Esmond here, then you know they are very different. They are huge, different in terms of CPI between provinces, even if they are very close. They have the same border, for example. So, have you found any negative impact here? So that's all. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you...
I think it could be some issue with the internet connection, because it was cut off a bit. Okay. Let me share here. Can you see the screen I'm sharing?
Yes, you can
Okay. So thank you for the questions and comments as well. Yeah, they are highly appreciated. So here, if we refer to the clubs, right? Say club number one. Club number one here, we have some provinces and cities. So why do they belong to the same club, right? They belong to the same club because they are, right? You can see here this one, right? They are performing quite well. Some of provinces are catching up, right, with the higher performing ones. For example, here Ho Chi Minh City is the top one, but Quang Ninh here is catching up and surpassing Ho Chi Minh City in 2023. Okay. Say club number one here, you can see Bắc Ninh, Thái Nguyên, Quang Ninh, and so on. They attracted, right? They have attracted a lot of foreign investment as well. They are industrial, right? Cities or provinces with a lot of comparative advantages. So that is why they belong to the same club. Yeah, regarding the data for this research, yes, I agree. I did use the data from 2010 to 2023. So I did combine, for example, for let's see, yeah, for this one, say Thái Nguyên, for example, right? I combine two provinces together. So in the future, right? In the future, for example, if I have longer data period, right, I can do the similar analysis, right, with the new data set for the same provinces, right, 34 provinces. Now, and I can do comparison as well to see if the provinces here, for example, they still belong to club number one, or if the provinces here, they still belong to club number two, and so on, or if some of the provinces, right, from club number three will jump, right, will jump to club number one, for example, or not. Now, regarding yeah, for this one, I will explore it further. However, again, right, regarding the key determinants of club membership, again, I apply the theories here, this one, right, this one. And then I use the latent variable on the left, right, the dependent variable, and then I use other independent variables on the right. So yeah, at the moment, yeah, I did it. So I will explore further regarding endogenous issue. But if, for example, if the dependent variable is, say, GDP per person on the left, right, and investment, labor force, human capital, and so on the right, of course, right, there is absolutely endogenous issue, right? But here I use latent variable on the left and other independent variables on the right, right?
But they are strongly correlated. Investment,
No,
labor, human capital, GDP.
I conducted the multi-collinearity test, and I found no issue with multi-collinearity issues. Yeah, so
yeah, maybe they are not multicollinear, but the coefficient you obtain are biased. That's the point.
What is this? Yeah. Okay. So I can share quickly with you here. Let me stop sharing and I will share again. This one. And then, yeah, this one. Just get for a minute. Okay, let me share again so you can see it. Okay. Okay. So in this paper, you can see more information, right? More information. How can I increase the size here? Okay, this one. So you can see in the introduction, right? I argue. Yeah, some main contributions, right? Key research questions, and the reason why I conducted this research, right? Say, yeah, so this one, for example, so I highlighted, right, the reason why I conducted the research. Yeah, so this one, and the potential, say, as one of the most far-reaching, right, restructuring in Vietnam in recent decades, this reform demands systematic empirical assessment of regional economic performance and the potential immersion of convergence clubs under the new administrative structure. This one, and I think down here, yeah. So this one here, you can see how the government combined provinces together. Yeah. So Tuyên Quang and Hà Giang, they were neighbors. Right? So the government combined them into one. Bắc Khan, Thái Nguyên, same. Vĩnh Phúc, Phú Thọ, Hòa Bình, they were neighbors, and so
Ben,
on. Yeah.
could I ask a speculative question? Just
Yeah.
I have to go to sleep here in a second. So,
Okay.
but I did want to ask, based on your implications for the findings, you're sort of teasing some implications for the mergers, that the mergers should or should not impact convergence in some way. And I guess I was not clear on what your findings would suggest with regard to merging wealthy provinces with poor provinces, merging provinces at all, leaving provinces independent, where they can get resources from redistribution, or getting merged with a wealthier province where they might get left behind. The logic of the government is obviously that you want to merge like provinces so they can leverage each other's strengths. So you seem to be hinting at that there's some implications from what you found here for what the mergers are likely to do. I wonder I didn't quite follow exactly what you think those implications are moving forward. So what would you expect these mergers to do with regard to convergence, divergence, both within the clubs and across the nation?
Okay. So thank you for the questions and comments. So here I have some policy implications. For example, there are clear benefits, right, in promoting spillover effects, right, from high-performing provinces to neighboring ones.
But why would, so there's spillovers by provinces being next to other provinces, but I could be next to a province and be my own province, or I could be merged with that province. So does the merging benefit the province? So if I'm Binh Duong, does it make me better off to be merged with Ho Chi Minh City, or am I better off being still just Binh Duong?
Okay. Yeah, very good point. Now, regarding spillover effects, right? For example, Hanoi, or say Ho Chi Minh City, right? Ho Chi Minh City, the government, right? They combine Ho Chi Minh City, the old Ho Chi Minh City, with Bình Dương and Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, right? So they have some similar levels of social economic development, right? They have some similar characteristics. They are dynamic, for example, right? So, and they were neighbors as well. That is why the government decided to combine them into one. Now, say Tailing, for example, right? Tailing gained positive impacts from Ho Chi Minh City and Dong Nai in the south because, say, in Dong Nai, right, you can see there are a lot of industrial activities. Right? They have a lot of manufacturing companies and so on. So they may, right, the companies there, they may need to hire workers from Tailing as well, or they may need to demand, right, for some factors of production from Tailing as well. That is why, that is one of the reasons why Tailing may have benefited from the activities in Dong Nai. Now, regarding whether it is possible to merge high-performing provinces with poor-performing provinces. It's like in practice, right? If they are neighbors, it may be, but it may be difficult as well because like poor performing provinces, right? They don't have similar characteristics. So if the government combine them with higher performing provinces, right, poorer provinces may not be able to catch up, or something like that. So when I refer to the government documents, right, they have some main criteria for merging provinces. Say locations, number one. Number two, say the level of social economic development, something like that. And number three, right, after merging the provinces, the government expecting that, right, the government can gain economies of scale from doing so. And the level of competitiveness of the new provinces will be higher in the future, something like that. Did I answer the question?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I read one journal article from the American Economic Review a few weeks ago, and if my memory is correct, right, they suggested, right, that in order to please correct me if I'm wrong because I didn't read it word by word. They suggested that, right, somehow, right, we should encourage say higher income earners, right, to work with or to make friends, right, with lower income earners, so lower income earners can benefit from from the friendship relationship with higher income earners, because lower income earners may gain ideas like skills and so on, may benefit from ideas and skills from higher income earners and so on. But in practice, it's difficult, right? It's difficult. Yeah.
Do you have other questions? Okay, so I guess that is all. So if you don't have other question, I guess that we should end our seminar here. We would like to thanks to all of you for the participation. It's very insightful and so very rich discussion. Thank you again to all of you, and thank you very much, Anh Binh, for the presentation. Our seminar series will stop during summer, of course, and we will restart in September. We will inform you. So have you a very nice holiday with the family.
Yeah. Can I have a final note before you go?
Of course,
so,
yes.
Yeah. Thank you again for your time and for attending this seminar. I'm very happy to have you here. So this is the first step. So I am very open to have more collaboration with you, everyone. So please keep in touch. Thank you. Yeah. Bye for now.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Have
Yeah,
a nice
All right,
day.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Bye.